In today's class, we will be dealing with another question on the preparation of final accounts, and we will be preparing a final accounts question which deals with a few adjustments. So let's look at the question together. So in today's class, we will be dealing with the final accounts question, and the question goes like this. From the following balances extracted from the books of Manju Chawla on 31st March 2017, you are requested to prepare trading, profit and loss, and balance sheet as on this date. So we've been given the trial balance, and with the help of this trial balance, uh, we've been asked to prepare the final accounts question, and we also see that the books of accounts belongs to a person by the name Manju Chawla, and it is for the date of 31st March 2017. Okay, so the trial balance has been given. Along with the trial balance, we also have some uh, we also have some adjustments which have been given to us. So those adjustments also we will have to go about treating, and then we will have to prepare the final accounts question with us. So dear students, I request all of you to quickly take down the question now. Before we prepare the final accounts for this question, let's quickly discuss the items which have been given. Please remember the thumb rule. Any item mentioned in the trial balance, we will have to treat it once. And that once would be either into trading account, profit and loss account, or balance sheet. Now let's quickly look at the items one by one. The first item given to us is here is opening stock. Opening stock will go into trading account. Now, second item, it is mentioned as purchases and sales, and in the trial balance, they've mentioned two amounts, which would be what? Now, for this, we have to remember the thumb rule of preparation of trial balance, assets, expenses, liabilities, income. Now, purchases is an expense for you. So, which means what is mentioned on the debit side is your purchase, and 80,000, what comes on the credit side is usually liabilities and income, which means what is mentioned over here is sales. So 80,000, what is mentioned on the credit side, that is your sales, since it represents an income. Similarly, returns, it's mentioned as 200 and 600. We do not know which return is what. So we have to understand which is sales return, which is purchase return. Now, when the return becomes an expense for you, it would be sales return. So 200, which is mentioned on the debit side, this is your sales return, and 600, which is mentioned on the credit side as return, this is your purchase return. Wages, so returns would go into your trading account. Wages, this is a direct expense, this will also go into your trading account. Dock and cleaning charges, this is also a direct expense, this is associated with your transportation of raw material, this is a direct expense. Then you have lighting. Now what is usually referred to as lighting, this is what is meant by the energy charges that is consumed for the lighting up of your factory. So lighting would be a direct expense. Miscellaneous income, income from other sources, that is what is referred to as miscellaneous income. This would be an indirect income, and this will fall into your profit and loss account. Rent. Now notice over here, rent is mentioned on the credit side. So what kind of rent would this be? Is this rent paid, or is it rent received? Here, since rent is featuring as on the credit side, it is assumed to be an income, and here this will be an indirect income falling into your profit and loss account. Capital will fall into your balance sheet. Drawings, balance sheet. Then you have debtors and creditors, and they've mentioned two amounts. We do not know which is what. So what is mentioned as 6,000 is an asset, and asset debtor is your asset. So 6,000 is your debtor's value. Then you have 7,000, which is mentioned. It has to be a liability, and creditors are usually a liability. This will fall again into your balance sheet. Cash, balance sheet. Investment, balance sheet. Patent, this will be a part of your fixed asset in your balance sheet. Land, machinery, balance sheet. Donations and charity, this will be an indirect expense. This will fall into your profit and loss account. Then you have sales tax collected. Now, sales tax collected, see if you notice here, it is mentioned on the credit side. So this is a form of an income. This will feature into your profit and loss account. Furniture, this will go into your balance sheet. Now, let's look at the adjustment. When it comes to adjustments, please remember the thumb rule. Any item mentioned as an adjustment, you will have to treat that twice. Okay, it has to be treated twice. So now let's look at the items one by one. Interest on drawings, it is 7%. This we will have to treat it twice. This will go into your profit and loss account and balance sheet. Interest on capital, this will again go into your profit and loss account and balance sheet. Remember, interest on drawings is an income, interest on capital is an expense. Land and machinery is depreciated at 5%. This will again go into your profit and loss account and balance sheet. Interest on investment at 6%. What kind of an interest is this? This would be accrued interest. Okay, interest that is earned, but the payment has not been received as yet. Okay, the payment has not been received as yet. So here, this will be a indirect. This will be an accrued income. This will have to treat into your profit and loss account and then balance sheet. Unexpired rent. What is meant by unexpired rent? This is outstanding rent. Okay, this is outstanding rent. This will again be treated into your profit and loss account and then your balance sheet. Depreciation is treated again in your profit and loss account and balance sheet. So these are the items that we have to treat as a part of our final accounts. Now let's go about with the preparation of final accounts. Now let's start off with the preparation of final accounts. We have prepared the format of the final accounts. The first statement that we have to prepare is your trading account. So I've got the trading account format in place. We will be considering opening stock, then we will be considering purchases, then we have to consider all the direct expenses. On the credit side, we have to consider sales, closing stock, etc. After that, we will have to go about with the preparation of the profit and loss account. So let's start off with the preparation of the final accounts, and the first item that has to be considered is your opening stock. Okay, the first item that has to be considered is your opening stock. The opening stock value that is given to us in the question is 10,000 that we've already recorded. Now, next item that we have to consider is purchases. Now, total purchases given to us as 4,000, and we also have purchase return. Purchase return is given to us as 600. So if you have to calculate net purchase, then it has to be total purchase minus purchase return. That will work out to be 39,400. Okay, that will work out to be 39,400. Now let's move on. Wages we have, it is given to us, and wages is given to us as 6,000, and we know that wages is a direct expense. Okay? We know that wages is a direct expense that we have already considered. Then let's see what are the other direct expenses that we have. We have dock and cleaning charges. Okay? We have dock and cleaning charges. This is a form of an expense which is associated with the transportation of raw material. That is also given to us, and that we have the amount that is mentioned in the final accounts is 4,000 that we have considered. And let's move on. So that has been considered. Then we have lighting. Lighting is what is equivalent to your energy expenses for providing adequate visibility in your factory. So this would be equivalent to electricity in your office. So that also we have considered. So we are pretty much done with all the direct expenses. Now let's move on to the credit side. Credit side, we have to start off with sales. Sales, we know the amount is 80,000. So 80,000, and that is your total sales. From your total sales, you will have to subtract sales return. Sales return we know is 200. So that works out to be 80,000 minus your sales return. That will give you your net sales. So your net sales is 79,800. Now in this particular question, we do not have closing stock, so we will assume closing stock to be 0. Now we have to look out and see which side is more. If you notice here, the credit side is more. credit side is more than your debit side. Okay, credit side is more than your debit side, which means the balancing figure will fall on the debit side. If the balancing figure were to fall on the debit side, it would be called as, or it would be referred to as gross profit. Okay, it would be referred to as gross profit. So gross profit over here is, if we have to calculate the balancing figure. So now let us quickly calculate the balancing figure and see how much is it. So we will have to take the difference between the total on the debit side with the total on the credit side, and that works out to be 19,900. So 19,900 is what? 19,900 is your balancing figure, which is your gross profit. By now, we've completed the preparation of the trading account. The next statement that we have to prepare is the profit and loss account. The next statement that we would be preparing is the profit and loss account. Now let's go about with the preparation of the profit and loss account. Now, in order to prepare the profit and loss account, we have to bring down the balancing figure from the trading account. Now, in the trading account, the balancing figure fell on the credit side, which means over here, the balancing figure will be brought down to the credit side. So here, you will start off with 19,900 on the credit side. You will start off with 19,900 on the credit side. So now let's move on. Let's see what are the other items that we have to consider. We have to consider miscellaneous income. So miscellaneous income will fall on which side? Miscellaneous income will fall on the credit side, because it is an income. So it is a form of an indirect income, and that has been considered and that has been taken over here. Then you have to consider your rent. Now here, in this case, the rent which is given, the rent, it is featuring on the credit side. Okay, it is featuring on the credit side, which means here rent is an income. If rent is an income, it has to be treated as an indirect income, and that indirect income will come on the credit side. Next, what we have to consider is your now let's see what are the other expenses that we have to consider. We will look through the items one by one. We have sales tax collected. So sales tax collected, here it is featuring on the credit side, which means it is some form of an income that has been mentioned. So that also you have to consider or into your profit and loss account, and in your profit and loss account, that is taken on the credit side. Okay, that is taken on the credit side. Okay, that has also been considered. Okay, now let's move on. Let us consider the now we have to take the adjustments one by one. Okay, let's start off with the adjustments one by one. Now the adjustments that we have are interest on capital. Now interest on capital, we've been asked to calculate interest on 5%, interest on capital at 5%. Now the question is 5% of what? Okay, now you have to calculate interest on capital, and interest on capital is said to be 5%. But 5% of what? It will be 5% of your capital amount, which is 40,000. So 5% of 40,000, that will work out to be 2,000. Okay, so that will work out to be 2,000. Okay, I think I had missed out on one item, which was donations and charity. Donations and charity is also indirect income, indirect expense. So I just have to quickly consider that as well. Apologies from my part. I had missed out that item when I was preparing the profit and loss account. So let me just quickly consider that as well. Okay, so donations and charity, the amount that is mentioned is 600. Okay, the amount that is mentioned is 600. So that also I have considered. Okay, now moving on, let's see which are the other adjustments that we have. Then we have interest on drawings. Now interest on drawings is an income. Why is it an income? Because drawings is the money taken by the proprietor for his personal use. So when he's taking money for personal use, he will have to pay firm, or he will have to pay the business interest on drawings. Now interest on drawing is calculated at what rate? Interest on drawings is calculated at 7%. 7% of what? 7% of the drawings amount. So 7% of drawings amount is Okay, the 7% of drawings amount is 140. Okay, 7% of drawings amount is 140. So that also we have brought about in the into your profit into your profit and loss account. In the meanwhile, there was a query some of you have raised right now asking me regarding lighting. Now, please remember, lighting I have treated it as a direct expense. Okay, I have treated it as a direct expense. Now, if it was mentioned as office lighting, you could have taken it as profit and loss account. Okay, you could have taken it as profit and loss account. So, let's move on. Okay, so now we are dealing with the adjustments one by one, and let's see which are the other adjustments that we have to consider. For you have depreciation. Now you have depreciation on land and building. Okay, you have depreciation on uh, land and building. Sorry, it's land and machinery. So I'm just, in short, I'm putting it as L and M. Okay. Now, depreciation on land and machinery, it is treated at 5%. Now, the question is 5% of what? 5% of your of the value of your machinery. So that is 43,000, and then 5% of that, it will work out to be 2,150. Okay, so 2,150 is 5% of your land and machinery, which is 2,150. So that has also been considered. Next is interest on investment. Interest on investment, this would be a accrued income. Okay, so this would be a accrued on income. So that we will be treating on the credit side. Okay, that we will be treating on the credit side. Now, what is meant by accrued income? Accrued income is those income that you have earned, but for some reason you have not got the payment. Now, here, interest on investment that is accrued is it is 6%. Okay, now 6% of what? 6% of your investment amount. So your investment amount is 6,000, and then the interest amount which is accrued is 6% of this. Okay, so 6% of this will 6% of 6,000. Let's see how much the amount will work out to be, and that will work out to be 360. Okay, so that will work out to be 360. So that also we have considered. Now, next thing that what they've mentioned over here is unexpired rent. What is meant by unexpired rent? Unexpired rent is nothing but rent outstanding. Okay, so unexpired rent is nothing but rent outstanding. Rent outstanding is an expense, so that will fall on the debit side. Okay, that will fall on the debit side. And the final final item that we have to consider is depreciation on furniture. Okay, so depreciation on furniture. Now let us calculate that. Depreciation on furniture is 5%, but 5% of what? 5% of 11,300. Okay, it is 5% of 11,300. So let us calculate that. 5% of 11,300 is 565. Okay, so 11% of that is 565. So with that, we have completed the treatment of the items in the profit and loss account. So we have completed off with the treatments of your items into your profit and loss account. Now, now let's start off with your. Let us start off with the final. Let us start off with the balancing. Okay. Now, just like your trading account here as well, you will have to balance both the sides. Let's see which side is more. Here, if you notice, if you would notice the credit side is more, and the credit side total works out to be 29,400. Okay, 29,400, and which means the balancing figure should fall on the balancing figure should fall on the debit side. Okay, the balancing figure should fall on the debit side. So so that also we will have to consider. So here, since the balancing figure will fall on the debit side, this will be net profit. Okay, this will be net profit. So net profit, let us consider that. Okay, let us consider that. So balancing figure we have taken, and let us work out the total. So let's try and balance this out. Okay, so let's try and balance this out, and the balancing figure works out to be 23,985. Okay, it works out to be 23,985. So that is your balancing figure, which is your net profit. Okay, so that is your balancing figure, which is your net profit. The final statement that we would be preparing is the balance sheet, and balance sheet is the statement which represents the financial position of your firm. So let's start off with the preparation of the balance sheet. Balance sheet, you will have to start off with capital. Okay, you will have to start off with capital. Capital, opening capital is 40,000. We do not have any additional capital. Then we have an item which is called as interest on capital. Interest on capital is 2,000. Then we have net profit. Net profit is given to us as 23,985. It is given to us as 23,985. Then you have drawings. So drawings is 2,000. Drawings is 2,000. And then finally, we have interest on drawings. Then we have interest on drawings, and interest on drawings is 140. Okay, interest on drawings is 140. That has also been factored. So let us consider interest on drawings as well. So interest on drawings also we have considered. So the final closing statement works out to be 63,855. Now let us consider other items one by one. Okay, let us consider the other items into your balance sheet one by one. So then you have so next item that we have to treat is your debtors and creditors. Okay, the next item that we have to treat is your debtors and creditors. Debtors and creditors. So let us start off with debtors and creditors. Debtors and creditors. So here it works out to be creditor is 7,000. Debtor is 6,000. So let us consider that. Debtors. The next thing that we have to consider is cash. Cash will fall under current asset. So that has been taken into consideration. Then you have investment. Investment will come under the section of investments itself. Okay, investments will fall under the section of investments itself, and that we have considered. So now one very important aspect that you have to remember is with respect to the investments, we have an adjustment. Now what was the adjustment? The adjustment was that we have accrued investments. Okay, we have accrued investments, and that accrued investments we will have to add. Okay, we will have to add accrued investments, accrued interest, okay, so accrued interest, the amount is 360. So 6,000 plus 360, the total works out to be 6,360. So that also we have considered. Now let us look at the other items that we have to treat. We have just considered investments. Now we have to consider patents. Patents is a fixed asset. So patents we have brought in over here, and the patent amount is 4,000. So 4,000 we have factored over here. Then we have to consider land and machinery. For land and machinery, we have adjustment, and the adjustment is that we have to subtract the depreciation. Okay, we have to subtract the depreciation. So let us subtract the depreciation. Okay, land and machinery. It is 43,000. Depreciation is 565, and the total amount. Okay, it works out to be 42,435. Then we have a furniture. For furniture also we have adjustment, and the adjustment is that you have to subtract depreciation, the amount on furniture is 11,300 and the depreciation amount works out to be 565. So when you take the net amount, it works out to be 10,735. Okay? So it works out to be 10,735. Okay, there was one small correction that was needed. That was the depreciation on the amount on the depreciation, that is 2,150. So it was 2,150. So that I mistook it to as the depreciation on furniture over here. So just make a note of that correction. Okay, now let's see what are the other items that we have to consider. We have considered, I think, most of the items. Now let's just quickly look at the adjustments. Interest on drawings, interest on capital that we've considered, depreciation we've considered, interest on investment that we have considered. We have outstanding rent that we have to consider. Now, outstanding rent, please remember that it is a current liability and the amount is 100 rupees. So that also we have considered, and then depreciation also we've considered. So together the total it works out to be 70,945. The total works out to be 70,945. In our case, the assets are matching with the liabilities, so which means our accounts are perfectly balanced.